Have you ever stopped to wonder what a really tough exam looks like in another country? Well, today we're going to do something pretty cool. We're cracking open a 10th grade geography exam paper from India. And trust me, it's fascinating. So let's just dive right in and deconstruct this thing piece by piece to see what it's really all about. Okay, right off the bat, this is what students are hit with. Give the six-figure grid reference. Whoa, this isn't a multiple choice guess. It's pure, hardcore technical skill. We're not talking about naming a capital city here. This is all about precision. And it sets an incredibly high bar from the very first question. And that's really the big question we're tackling today. This is for a 15-year-old. So what does it actually take? We're not just looking at random trivia. We're going to investigate the whole web of skills a student needs to have totally mastered to even have a shot at passing this thing. Yeah, what becomes super clear right from the start is that this exam is not about just memorizing facts. Not at all. It's this comprehensive challenge. It's carefully designed to test a whole range of abilities, from how you see the world visually to how you interpret raw data. So the first major hurdle for these students is getting the hang of topographical maps. And you have to understand, this is way more than just finding a dot on a map. It's basically about learning to read a completely new, specialized visual language, the language of the land itself. And I love this simple definition from YouTube educator Sir Tarun Rupani. He says, topography means to draw a place. It just perfectly captures the idea, right? It's all about translating our 3D world onto a 2D piece of paper using a very specific secret code. Now check this out. Color is a huge part of that code. On this map, green isn't just, green. It means forest. Yellow, that's farmland. White means the land is barren. Students have to get this visual dictionary down cold before they can even think about answering the questions. And then they've got to put it all into practice. Look at this question. It's not enough to know what the symbols mean. You have to find a specific 1 kilometer square on the map and then analyze everything inside it, sorting out what's natural versus what's man-made. It's incredibly detailed. Oh, and it doesn't stop there. No way. On top of reading these super detailed topo sheets, students get a blank map of India. And then, from memory, they have to fill it in. We're talking mountain ranges, rivers, major cities, even different soil types. It's a huge test of recall. Okay, let's pick up the pace a bit, because that's exactly what the exam does. The next section is what I'm calling the rapid-fire knowledge gauntlet. This part is a pure test of the massive amount of information these students are expected to just know. First up, rattuning. Ever heard of it? It's a really specific agricultural term. It's not general knowledge. It's technical know-how about how certain crops are harvested. The answer, by the way, is sugarcane. All right, next question. And boom, we've jumped from agriculture straight into botany. You need to know specific trees, like teak and shisham, and connect them to the exact right climate zone. In this case, it's the tropical monsoon forests. The level of detail is just amazing. And then, just like that, a hard pivot into environmental science. This question demands that you understand the ecological fallout from pollution, specifically a process called eutrophication. You see how interdisciplinary this is? It's pulling from all these different fields. And to top it off, we land in industrial geography and history. You need to know that the Ruhrkeller steel plant was set up with German collaboration. So think about that. In just 4 questions, we've hit agriculture, botany, environmental science, and industrial history. It's wild. But the exam isn't all about just remembering facts. It actually builds to a whole other level, applying that knowledge to analyze data. This is where students have to take abstract numbers and connect them to what's actually happening in the real world. So they're given a table that looks like this. It's just raw climate data for some random, unnamed Station X. At first glance, it's just a sea of numbers, right? Temperatures and rainfall. The challenge is to make this data tell a story. And here's how they do it. First, a simple calculation. Okay, not so bad. Second, a careful observation to spot the driest month. But step 3, that's where the real magic happens. Based only on the rainfall pattern, they have to figure out the specific wind system affecting this location. That is a massive analytical leap. And finally, the exam moves into long-form answers. It's not enough to know facts anymore. Now, you have to build a coherent argument about complex, real-world issues, like why we desperately need forest conservation, and back it all up with solid geographical reasoning. So, after breaking this whole thing down, what's it really testing? I mean, it's clearly so much more than just geography. It's almost like a blueprint for building a certain kind of critical mind. When you put it all together, the exam is hammering away at four completely distinct skills. You've got spatial reasoning with the maps. You've got massive factual recall in that rapid-fire section. You have data interpretation with the climate charts. And you've got critical analysis with the essays. It's a complete cognitive workout. Which kind of brings us to a final, bigger thought. An exam this demanding, this multifaceted, it isn't just about getting an A. It's about shaping a mind that can navigate a really complex world. And it makes you wonder, right? What is the ultimate purpose of a test like this? What are we trying to build? It's definitely something to think about.